Marshall skips away. Marshall skips away. Marshall's still going. Marshall's got Richards coming up outside. Now inside.
Arsenal have gone through an entire league campaign without losing.
Bennett and the Dragons win the grand final.
Whips that one away, and Kane Williamson and his team now World Test Champions.
Welcome back to another episode of the TGIF podcast. Thank God it's footy. Matariki this week, short week, it's always good.
Short week after
Shout out the Māori New Year.
Yeah, after some big Matariki celebrations over the last week, a few kapahaka performances, it was a busy week and now we got a short one. Thoroughly looking forward to that. It also marks the kick-off, the throw-off of the World Cup of Darts, starting, I believe, Friday morning about 7 a.m. our time, which I'm very, very, very much looking forward to getting up and watching there, I believe.
Over at the Ali Pali?
I'm actually not too sure it is. I don't think so. I'm imagining it's possibly somewhere in Germany. Either way, I believe the Kiwis are up at they might be the 8th game, the 9th game, I think, there Friday morning. So, yeah, it's in the Ice Sport Hall there in Frankfurt. So, yeah, short week, you can't complain. It is a sad day though. It marks the ending of Ned's betting career.
Yeah. And Ned's no longer taking overseas customers.
No longer able to jump on the Neds there on this side of the Tasman, which is unfortunate. And I went on, didn't have TAB downloaded, and went on to the old Bet365 and had a little play around, and it's a bloody nightmare to try and get yourself involved in a NRL bet. So we've taken a slight hiatus there for this week in terms of throwing our money into thin air. So I'm going to pocket the $16 there that I'm usually throwing away and treat myself to something nice, I guess.
Have a slap on the pokies.
Possibly $16, maybe $16
on
a hand of blackjack, maybe. See if you can double your money. But we do have the big game tomorrow. It's obviously game 2 kicking off. In about 24 hours time you'll be getting prepared for it. I was going to say mentally prepped, but I believe the mental preparation's got to be done far earlier than 15-20 minutes before a game kicks off.
You're probably alright if you're mentally preparing as a spectator. In a game like Origin, and this is from someone who doesn't really have too much. You probably want to give yourself a full, couple of days thinking about the game.
If you're a player.
I'm thinking as a spectator.
As a spectator, 100%.
As a player, you'd be thinking about it start of the season, surely. Man, you'd be plotting away.
So
imagine Billy.
But you will be 24 hours time. You'll be getting yourself cozied up, getting ready to watch. Whether we see Queensland go 2-0 or can New South Wales, with the few changes that have been made, can they draw that series back up? Make it 1-1. There's been a little bit of hoo-ha in the media over the last few days.
Yeah, Madge seems to have ruffled a few feathers. A few Queenslanders have fired back at his glass houses comments. I think the two coaches actually were due for a little press conference together today, so interesting to see if we've got any clips out of that so far. But yeah, no, it seems to be a bit more fire behind this one, which is always good when it comes to Origin time. It's what makes it special is when they really rack up at each other.
Yeah.
And obviously the biff's gone, but the fire can still be there. So
yeah, you want a little bit of heat in the battle, that's for sure. And obviously with the chance there of Queensland going 2-0, you'd like to think New South Wales come into this one pretty fired up. A couple of those lads that didn't make game 1 probably going out there with a bit of a point to prove. So whether maybe you see a quick start there from New South Wales, we see them get out to an early lead and try and hold it from there. But we know what Queensland are like and when it comes to State of Origin, so who knows whether or not New South. I've got to say it doesn't look good when you can see Queensland go out there and name a pretty much unchanged side. It's ball's got to be in their hands, I'd say.
100%, yeah. Picking up the win in Sydney. Let's just hope there will be no red card, particularly early on in this one. Hope that New South Wales can keep 13 players on the field, lower that hit zone.
They said on the radio today that they reckon there'll be something that'll be worse. That won't be a red card because they won't want to go out and blow the game away, There'll be something worse than that. So they need to,
As long as it's in the Blues' favour, I won't mind, but...
obviously after seeing that, there's huge discrepancies across different referees, across rugby league, and I've had plenty of talk there about the bunker and things like that this year, so it's something that they need to try and get on top of, I think, or have a little bit of consistency with. But I think you're right, as long as either team can keep 13 on the field, it should make up to be a pretty tasty matchup.
Yeah, I'd say so. Looking forward to that one. Should be a great game. So yeah, as Nat says, start your mental preparation if you haven't already. Yep. By the time this one comes out, if you haven't started your mental preparation, it's probably too late. Looking at a Wednesday afternoon / evening release, you're probably not going to be listening to the podcast with enough time to mentally prepare.
Yeah, unless you're watching it with the game for some unusual reason.
You won't feel your mental preparation.
You won't be mentally prepped at all. So that's tomorrow. That is what we're sitting here at 9:40 in about 24 hours time. Yeah, you may be chucking something in the oven.
Teams might be walking back into the changing room following their last warm up.
You're chucking some chips in the oven maybe at that stage.
If you're that way inclined, you're brewing a cup of tea.
Yeah, depending on. It is a late night. Maybe you're heating up a piece of apple pie in the microwave, possibly. Maybe not this early before kick-off. I'm probably leaning towards more of a... that's the thing, though, if you're at home. Your scenario, no dramas whenever you want to heat up your apple pie. TV visible there from the kitchen. If you're in a situation like that, you can be eating at any stage throughout the game. Get yourself a cold one. No worries, you're not going to miss anything. That's always the worry, You get up to go to the loo, you get up to do something like that. That's a game changer. Having a toilet where the TV is viewable. Maybe that's what you need. Then you're not going to miss a minute of the action.
Yeah, you're probably looking at maybe switching the stream up to your phone if you do need to go to the loo.
Changing your Chromecast maybe if you're watching Chromecast.
Depending if you're watching on Sky or Fox, whatever it is, wherever you may be tuning in to the game, you might utilise the old live pause.
See,
does a good treat. Should you need to
it
go? It
freaks me out a little bit, to be fair. Live pause. In terms of a sports game, I feel like you've got to it's kind of like you're there at the game, and if you've ran off to go and get yourself a hot dog and you've missed a goal and you just hear them cheering, that's just unfortunate, you know what I mean?
Yeah, if you watch the highlights later.
Yeah, you watch the highlights, you look up to the big screen, you know what I mean? No big screen, unfortunately, in your kitchen, in your bathroom, wherever you may be shooting off to mid-game.
And replays might be all over by the time you're done.
Well, that's why when you hear the noise, you turn, you look. If you're in your own home and your mate's in there watching and he's cheering it on, and you're in the kitchen, having some toast. Maybe not eating. If you're eating your toast in there, that's a bit off. Making your toast, you're running. 100% you're running.
Yeah, but if you're mid-piss,
midstream, that's a different question. Either way,
it's a tough one. It's probably one for minds greater than ours.
100%. Basically, what we're trying to say is, if you're not mentally prepared by now, you're fucked. And if you haven't,
that's all part of the mental preparation. Yeah. Making sure you take 3 or 4 pisses before 9:45.
If you haven't started your physical preparation by this time tomorrow, you may as well not bother tuning in. I think we did have a shortened round over the weekend there. one of mine, that's probably going to be my least favourite rounds of the year. Those rounds where you don't have a Thursday night game, you've got one on a Friday, and you've got to wait out till 10 o'clock. But boy, I think it was worth the wait, waiting till 10 o'clock Friday. Some awesome footy games, some awesome plays, and some outrageous results. And 13 blokes here to sort of round all that off.
Encapsulate that, yeah.
Yeah, encapsulate, that's the way to put it. Starting your team off, one of the many Titans players we've managed to get involved in this team after their huge win. Keanu Kinney at fullback. He's electric.
Yeah, he's giving Desi a lot of headaches moving forward because you would have thought Jaden Campbell, AJ Brimson would have been the men to fight it out for that jersey, but all of a sudden a third contender has come storming onto the scene and hell of a performance up against the Wilds.
Yep, so he's taking the fullback role. Joining them there on the wings, one of his teammates, AKP there, out there on one wing. What did he get himself? 4 in the end?
4 meters, yeah.
We've seen 4 tries a few times this season now. Tommy Talau obviously popping one out a few weeks ago. And Will Warbrick on the other side there. 2 tries, I believe it was.
Yeah, Will Warbrick, a couple of tries, I think. He was great for Melbourne there. And a good win on Friday night. Into the centres, we've gone for Jacob Carraz, potentially one of the only blokes from a losing side, but had to find his way into the team after a couple of line breaks and a great performance there. And then this sort of story of the round, the return of Adam Dewey to the West Tigers. He jumps in the other centre role.
Well deserved, I think. Well, just purely you could put him in there based on that runaway try, I think.
Yeah, did he burn Savage for
to go out there and burn one of the fastest players in the league on three
consecutive ACL
3
injuries.
knee reconstructions? You're doing well, mate. And not only was it that, I think I don't know if it's a good thing or not. We seem to be turning into one of those teams that only plays when there's an occasion. It was Dewey's game back, so we have a big win. This week it's our 600th game in the NRL, so maybe that's a moment to back the Tigers again. And then we probably lose maybe 3 or 4 on the trot, until it's...
You've got a few tough fixtures.
We do have a few tough fixtures, and I believe we've got, I think it's like 14 of our top 30 players currently injured at the moment.
Yeah, it's a very young side at the moment.
Which, hey, I'm happy to see it, and even better to have that bloke there back, Adam Dewey. So that's your back 5. One of the blokes you were just speaking about there, Campbell taking your 6th role, and Kieran Foran. We've got a fully Gold Coast halves pairing there.
Yep, exclusively Titans in the halves there. Foz and JC.
4 of your 7 backs. That's quite a decent shot.
Yeah,
when you scored 60.
Well, yeah, you reckon up 66 points.
66. Sorry, I forget. Yep.
Off the back of some pretty outstanding play from those 4 lads. It's hard not to include them. Big shout outs to Lockie Galvin. It was tough to leave him out after a great performance, but Jaden Campbell probably just pipped him with a few extra plays, breaking the Gold Coast scoring record. Hard to leave him out off the back of that. Into the forwards. Now we've got a couple of Tigers there in the 8 and 9 jersey respectively.
Yep.
Big Steph and little Uppy Coruscant.
Big Steph and Uppy. Steph putting in a performance like he usually does, obviously crossing every part of my body that can be crossed, that he goes ahead and signs it out. Doesn't look like it will happen until the end of the season, but I think if he's enjoying his footy, then possibly he does choose to sign on.
Yeah, I think the last 2 weeks would have done a lot in terms of convincing him to stay around.
100%.
You got Lucky Galvin committing there as well, so fingers crossed for Tigers fans.
Good batch of young fellas coming through. So and Uppy, the cool-headed leader there to show those blokes how to get around the paddock. So you're right, it is a Tigers. It's very Tigers and Titans related here, but 116 points scored between your two teams, 16th and 17th. It's hard to go by them. But we managed to slot somebody else in there, Terrell May, scoring again.
Both our front rows propping over for a meaty. No pun intended there, but Terrell May, he just seems to be exploding this year. Comes from a family of pretty good stock, but turning out to currently be the best of them.
I think,
with Taylor's little indiscretions there.
I'm thinking possibly, Taylor May obviously has got himself into a little bit of trouble there. But Terrell does seem to be the one to beat. Obviously Tyrone there, the older one.
Things didn't quite work out for him in the NRL. Seems to be doing well over in France.
France,
ripping it up at Catalans. But look, Terrell May. I think the Roosters have certainly found a good leader to take over from JWH once he moves on. Beast of a season for Terrell, and a bloke who seems to be in there pretty much, if not every week, every other week at the moment. Big Dave Fafita in the back row with a debutant. I don't say it with 100%.
I'm
checking the facts, but I'm pretty confident.
Certain it's a debutant there. Fainu.
Sam Weller.
Yep. Got himself the start again there this week, which is good to see. Had an awesome game, a couple of outrageous offloads. One that led to a try and one I think that led to a try that ended up being disallowed. But had an unreal game. Could have chucked a few more. Tigers could have been scattered in there, I think. Laulili on the wing, but Fainu, he looks the goods. And another player I think like Fafita, who seemed to be in there at least a bit of a regular over the last month or so. Kalaya Matangi taking that locking role. I think we might have had him in there last week possibly.
Yeah, well, he's been in there ever since he's really moved in there. He's been going pretty well. Ever since the news of Wayne's return to South, so they've been going well, and it's no coincidence off the back of Keon's work through the middle. Possibly moves into the front row rather than back to the back row moving forward when Cam Murray's back in that 13 jumper for South. But at the moment he's doing a hell of a job in Cam Murray's absence.
Looking
while
good.
He's been injured and called up for Origin duty, but rounds out another tasty looking team from us.
It's
again salary cap issues.
Always
the main worry there, but
always financial issues there. I think when you're pulling out a TGIF team, but sometimes it's got to be done. Now I was going to say it's another full week. It's not a full week. We've got 3 with the bye. So what does it leave us with?
7 games. I believe we've got the Thursday off again.
Thursday off again.
But that's Women's Origin.
Okay, so there is footy on still, so that's good. So that means we kick off Friday night. First game Friday. Welcome back. Your full Friday night footy. The Doggies up against the Sharkies. Obviously, the Sharkies coming in fresh. They got the free 2 points there last week. Sitting pretty near the top of the ladder there. And the Doggies. And the one game I didn't really see anything of, unfortunately, tuning into the Super Rugby final. And Doggies obviously coming up, unfortunately, there's the losers there up against the Tricks. I thought it was going to be like the game of the round, this one, I got to say. But not really showing what we've seen from them throughout this season. What's got them into that, unexpected high point in that table?
Yeah, I mean, I think the Doggies certainly tried hard, but it's tough. I think it's probably tougher on them to lose Stephen Crichton and many other Origin absentees. Matty Burton was still there. not called up for 18th man this time around, but it was tough for the Doggies, but I think it was just a case of the Roosters being slightly too good on the night. They moved into the top 4 there.
Did you see that?
Yeah, it says you're active on the dock.
Yeah, what the fuck? That tripped me out. I've got it open on my laptop at home, but I don't.
Okay.
But I don't know why it's automatic. It's just randomly popped up then.
It just flashed, yeah.
Because it wasn't on before that, was it?
I don't know.
It must have. Who knows? That freaked me out. I don't think it was there beforehand.
The Chookies probably just a little bit too classy on the day. Brandon Smith obviously coming out and responding to a bit of talk around him and his future, his antics at the club with a 5-star cheese performance, and the Doggies, just couldn't cope really. Sammy Walker as well, 4 try assists on the night. It was a hectic night weather-wise, that's for sure.
It's going to be a tough game for them this weekend.
And yeah, Cronulla,
Sharks team.
They came off that close loss, mind you, to the Dolphins, but it was a strange game the week before. So, yeah, look, Doggies have been very strong at home. I don't know if they're yet to lose one at home.
I think you're right. I think they are still unbeaten at home. So if they can continue
records
that,
in their favour. Although Cronulla, look, they've probably played the better footy overall this year. So you're probably down the middle on this one. I think.
I'm going Sharkies.
Yeah,
Sharkies to win a close one. I think.
I think that's me. Yeah, me too. I don't know. Friday night might be a little bit rough on the likes of Crichton to get back into the team. I'm gonna have to go Cronulla as well. So
Cronulla and a close one.
Are they both going 1-0 or both going 0-0 after that one?
That is your first game. Leads you into. Is that correct?
2 games on Friday, or is it?
It can't be.
3 games on Sunday.
Not if we've got
1 game on Friday, 3 on Saturday, 3 on Sunday.
3 on Sunday, okay. So what time are we then on the Sunday? Are we
8:15.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Oh, I hate that. What's the point of giving us the last game when we don't have anybody Origin players to get an extra day's rest?
Bit of a shake-up in what we thought then.
So that's actually that's your big long wait until Friday 10 p.m, which is unfortunate, and then you kick off. Actually, there you go. I was going to say that's a late bloody kick-off if they're kicking off at midnight, and it still wouldn't be Friday. It'd be technically Saturday. So Saturday afternoon, Warriors up against the Broncos. Brisbane getting that free 2 points, and the Warriors. Being utterly embarrassed, I'd like to say. You lose to the team.
Some are labelling it the worst loss in Warriors history. And it's got to be hard to go past that. Yeah, you lose to the team.
You lose to the team that's lost to the team that was last place the week before.
They were last coming into the round, Gold Coast.
Well, exactly after we beat them.
Yeah.
So you lose to the team who lost to last place to go into last by 60 points.
When you've had, and they've also got 3 of their best 4 players arguably on the sidelines.
I mean, I understand different looking Warriors team, but you've got Sean Johnson in there still. You know, there's nothing.
Yeah, it doesn't seem to be working between the 2 of them, Sean Johnson and Tamati Martin. They both played. Particularly Martin has played well without Johnson there, but they don't seem to be clicking as a pair.
No, not at all.
As well as Johnson and Metcalf seem to be doing, or Martin and who's been playing 6
Chanel?
for the Warriors? Yeah, Chanel. Last few weeks. Bad signs for the Warriors, but again, it's a sellout. Warriors on track actually for a pretty cool stat. The first ever team to sell out every single home game in the
Yeah, I
NRL
think
season.
we've got to get tickets. Jesus, I don't want to miss. That's outrageous.
That's a cool stat to have.
Yeah.
So shout out to all the local Kiwis around and about the show, whether you live a couple of streets away or you're trekking across town or even from across the country. We've been doing a good job.
They're going to need you all behind them this weekend, though. That
it's
is
going
for
to be
sure.
a tough one. Brisbane back into the 8 off the back of a bye.
Yeah, I was going to say the same thing. So they may look at that
Things
as
have
a
been
comeback into a
shaken
little
up.
bit of form. Brisbane possibly, and they may think we can go 2 on the trot here. So maybe it's actually not all as doom and gloom from Brisbane as first seemed. But the only thing the Warriors can do is just write that one off and start again. I think you can't be dwelling on a 60-point loss too much.
I don't think they will be. You probably just write it off as a freak result. You're coming back in front of your, like I said, a home crowd sellout. You think they'd definitely be keen to go out there and right a few wrongs from last Saturday, that's for sure. And spirits are high in Auckland, I suppose, off the back of the Blues win. So maybe they can catch up with the Blues, see what they might have done differently in picking up their big win in the Super Rugby final. But it's hard to see the Warriors bouncing back with a win off the back of that, but I think it'll be a closer one. Brisbane haven't been playing as we know they can, and they'll have a few troops with some weary legs coming in, the likes of Paddy Garrigan, Reece Walsh, obviously no Selwyn Cobbo, but a few others scattered amongst that Queensland lineup there, and obviously big pain for New South Wales. So plenty of stars for Brisbane that'll be playing their second game in a week, but a couple for the Warriors as well. Kurt Capewell lining up on the bench for Queensland, and Mitch Barnett in the 18th man jumper. Whether that stays the same come kickoff or not, I'm not too sure. Whether we see an outside back going there potentially.
Yeah, they may look to switch it up a little bit come kickoff, but who knows? Obviously 2 unusual benches there last time around, so whether we see something similar again. I don't know if it's going to have too much of an effect on the result of the game. I do think Brisbane probably still come away with a win there. I think the Warriors just have probably got a little bit more to sort out at the moment than what Brisbane do. I think should be a lot easier for the Broncos to get back on track, but you're right, not really gelling at the moment. Johnson and Timoni Martin there in the halves, and that's probably what there needs to be something needs to be changed, I think, at the Warriors if they want to
100%
make finals
off the back of that one. Slipping 3 points behind the top 8 spots now, I think, or maybe even 5, not too sure, but huge one for both these sides. Warriors, if they want to continue their top 8 aspirations, and Brisbane their top 4 aspirations. But I'm going to have to probably give my money to Brisbane in this one, if I'm being honest.
Yep, I'm Brisbane too.
Home crowd advantage. You could see the Warriors pulling something off. But yeah, look, Brisbane, should Reece Walsh especially come through Origin healthy and ready to go, I think they'll have a little bit too much for the Wars on the night. But that leads us into the middle of your Super Saturday. 2 teams coming in off long rests.
Yep, 2 teams coming in super fresh with off the buys.
Any players involved in Origin for either team either? Not off the top of my head. Mitch Moses for Parramatta comes in for New South Wales.
Yeah, that's it. That's the only one. Knights up against the Eels, with 2 pretty much, but I was going to say 2 pretty much full strength teams. It's not a full strength team without Moses, we've seen that.
Well, Moses will probably back up Saturday. afternoon in Newcastle, depending how he pulls up. I think he's the sort of bloke to back up, whether or not his injury is still sort of lingering, giving him some longer recovery times at the moment. We'll see, but team lists have been named. I'm sure they've named them.
I hadn't actually noticed. The only team list I'd seen actually was the Tigers one.
I can just go to the fixture. Tell me.
Armstrong back off. Fletcher Sharp's still
been named.
Sharp's still starting.
Yeah, I think Fletcher Sharp was supposed to be given first crack over Armstrong, but was injured at the time.
Oh, okay.
So
both are bloody good.
Yeah, Fletcher Sharp came in and had a great moment. Was it starting debut for him?
I don't know. I think it was the second game he played that he had that awesome try.
Second game he started though, because did he not come off the bench the week before that? Anyway, great try up against Penrith, but Newcastle, I think that was their result the week before, wasn't it?
Yep.
Penrith. Just falling short. Jerome Luai was probably one of the key differences there on the night. Coming up against this Parramatta side that, again, while Brisbane shifted spots off the back of their free 2 points, Parramatta have shifted spots off the back of their free 2 points, but down into last.
Yep.
It's not something you would think would ever happen.
Oh, it's great. I have to say
given 2 points for free, but you shunted down into last spot.
It's
well done, Tigers, Titans, and did anyone else?
No, just those two. It's bloody awesome, and now all I need is Para to keep losing. If Para can keep losing, and they can take that spoon off us, I'd be very, very happy come the end of the season. So I'm really hoping that Newcastle come in. Armstrong back, whether we see him involved there. I saw Pierce Paul also back involved in this game there, so that's handy for the night. So I'll be hoping that Newcastle go out there and can run the Eels rampant come Saturday, get a big win, lower that points difference there a little bit more for Para, and maybe they lose a couple of players to injury. That'd be perfect.
I think that's probably, I mean, it's hard to say because they obviously are sitting last now and we're into round 17, but I just think with the likes of Moses, Gutherson, Brown, Junior Bolo, RCG, they're probably a little bit like Souths when they were sitting bottom of the ladder. The team, the roster is way too good to be sitting last.
100%.
So you think they even get 3 or 4 of these remaining games right, they're probably more than likely to pick up more wins than at least one of you guys or the Titans. But yeah, the way things are going, it's not looking pretty for Parramatta. Yet to appoint a coach as well at this stage, I believe. So interesting to see what comes out of the back of that. But I'm sure if he guides them to a wooden spoon, Trent Barrett will be nowhere near that head coaching role next year. Tough one to pick this I reckon. Parramatta obviously have the stars, but it's always hard to tip the team coming in last. And Newcastle, they played well last time out. They're at home on a Saturday afternoon / evening there, so they should get a strong crowd, even if it is pissing with rain. Haven't looked at the forecast, but it's always pretty packed there in Newcastle. So yeah, I like it. Should be a good game actually.
Yep, should be a good game. I'm 100% going for the Knights here in this one. I'm backing them to pull off a big 13-pluser is what I'm opting for, a big win here for Newcastle.
Yeah, I'm gonna go against the grain just so that we do have a leader in this tips. I'm gonna go for Parramatta on this one.
Yep.
We're gonna change some up.
No, I like it.
We'll be sitting on the same score. That's always a bit boring.
It leads you into Storm up against the Raiders. Yeah.
Finale
of the Super Saturday. Both teams there involved over the weekend. Storm obviously coming away with the win there up against the Finns in that top 4 battle, and Canberra I think lucky to have the scoreline look as good as it does at 48-24 to the Tigers, thanks to that sin binning there. It could have been a hell of a lot less for Canberra and a hell of a lot more actually for the Tigers. I think we had 3 or 4 tries disallowed. So 2 very different outcomes there for the 2 teams last week, and sort of different looking seasons now. Obviously Canberra had a very, very hot start, but Storm are looking like the ones to beat at the moment.
Yeah, cruising along at the top of the table. Melbourne picking up win after win. Not much to say about Melbourne that we haven't said. They seem to be there year after year. You can never really get that, even with Munster injured. They cruise on.
Hughes has just stepped up to another level.
Pappenhausen has come back and looked pretty good in his return game there. So interesting to see how they play the 2 speedsters there, the 2 fullbacks, but they managed to do it well enough to pick up a good win in a top 4 battle there away in Suncorp against the Dolphins. So good on them. And yeah, obviously opposite fortunes for Canberra, 48-24, as you said. Without that sin bin, it could have been a lot worse for them. They probably only played some good footy for about 10 or 15 minutes in that one. So going to be very hard to tip Canberra in this one, but they have managed to go down to Melbourne and pull off the old shock result over the recent years.
Sticky loves their game down there in Melbourne.
Yeah, it's one of those places, I don't know, without having the record in front of me, I've got a sneaking suspicion they'd be up there with one of the better clubs in terms of picking up wins down in Melbourne. Not too many teams would have good records down there, but I reckon Canberra would have a decent one.
Yeah, I think you've got to be right with that one there. I do recall over the last few seasons a few wins there for the Raiders. But yeah, I think you've got to be right. It's hard to go out there and back Canberra going into this one. Yeah, I'm looking at the form, looking at the last, just off the weekend there. Obviously just off the weekend. But it wasn't even just like that we played. We did play well, but I think Canberra had a shocker.
Canberra got dicked by North Queensland the week before, did they not?
Canberra haven't been looking like themselves. They've had a few games where they've played pretty poorly. They gave away far too many errors in that game there against us. So you've got to hold on to the ball. You can't be going out there and making silly mistakes, especially up against a team like the Storm, because I think they'll make them pay a hell of a lot more than we did.
Yeah, 100%. No disrespect to the Tigers, but as well as they played, if Melbourne can hit their full potential and Canberra aren't up to it, it could be a lot uglier than a 24-point loss, that's for sure. So I assume we're both tipping Melbourne in this one.
Yep, 100%. You got to go towards Melbourne in this one here.
You'd have to be a pretty hardened Raiders fan to be tipping Canberra in this one. So Melbourne. Onto your Sunday footy. Now we start off with the Dragons playing host to the Dolphins.
Your lads coming in fresh.
Off the bye. A loss to Manly that, it was probably a game the week before that, certainly in hindsight, was one that we let slip away, going in with a halftime lead, and Manly obviously down on troops in that one. Up against the Dolphins team that, they've just slipped out of the top 4, but I don't think we'll see the slip that we did from them last year. I think it was certainly a lot earlier than this they started slipping.
I think they can hold on, that's for sure.
I'm saying I think they definitely hold on to a final spot. I don't know if they can hold on to a top 4 spot with the likes of the Roosters, Penrith, Melbourne and Cronulla there at the moment, I believe. So it's going to be tough, but they could possibly get in there over the likes of Cronulla. They're going to have to pick up more wins than not, starting with this one. But I'll be hoping for a Dragons win, obviously, sitting here in my Dragons gear. I'm not going to be big upping the Dolphins, but it's going to be a tough one as well for the Dragons.
It's going to be
a big win for the Dolphins early on in the season in the reverse fixture.
It's going to be a very
different Dragons side now compared to then, but we have seen a little bit of that inconsistency creep back in the Manly game, so we'll be hoping to swing back momentum. Obviously we'll have Zachy Lomax and Ben Hunt to need to pull up well 3 days in between. Look, I don't know about you, but sometimes you're even sore a few days after a big workout, big session.
Not often I pull out
a
big workout or a big session.
Yeah, not often we get out there and do something that is the intensity of 80 minutes of Origin or however much.
I've hurt myself before, and it's been sore the second day than the first day. I will give you that. Now you may be right whether or not they come back in there, but
I'm hoping they do, because if they do, it's going to be a big boost at home in this one. We are quite strong at home, so fingers crossed Flano's got a few aces up his sleeve for this one. Maybe Hammer pulls up a little bit lame as well for the Dolphins, and we can sneak away with a little win in this one.
I gotta say, I'm gonna go against your grain at least. I'm gonna go for a little bit of fins up action in this one here, just to switch it up a little bit. I think the Fins bounce back from that loss up against Melbourne, try and keep those top four hopes alive, and just maybe try and entangle you a little bit more in this battle down here at the bottom, make it a bit more interesting. It would be great for the Tigers.
Yeah, I think we're probably a few losses in a row away from that, but we do have a tough run in. So chances are we could be battling it out closer to the bottom, then closer to the top 8. Should the next few weeks unfold, I guess ugly. Definitely not the adjective I'm looking for at the moment, but. Yeah, fingers crossed we can pick up a win in this one, but another POD, so we'll have a 2-point swing at least.
Yep.
So interesting to start off your Sunday
Or it could be
afternoon.
even still if you get one.
Yeah, true. We could jag one each. So
who knows?
Maybe
how it
not the
turns
best,
up,
but
you got to mix it up a wee bit. That sets you up for Penrith up against the Cowboys.
Yep, leads you into the second game. Penrith up against North Queensland. Another game, two teams coming off the bye, coming in fresh. Although two teams, one very New South Wales heavy and one very Queensland heavy. So interesting to see how many for both sides do decide to back up.
I'd say
able to back up
by Sunday. That's the thing though. It depends on how many players get injured or something like that. If they lose a few to injury, then it throws a bit of a spanner in the works. But you're right. One team sort of filled with Queenslanders and one filled with New South Welshmen. But yeah, you'd like to think come Sunday afternoon, you've got most of those players back involved in that lineup. I don't know if it helps the Cowboys too much either way. They get their players back and Penrith get theirs. I think it's going to be a tough ask for the Cowboys at this one here. Yeah. Penrith away.
Making the trip down to Sydney, out to Penrith for the Cowboys, who certainly have not been consistent enough over the course of the year to be up there challenging with the likes of Penrith. So yeah, tough to see North Queensland coming down and getting a result out of this one. Yeah, Penrith probably just cruised to another victory, I think, in this one here. As good as North Queensland were in that previous performance up against Canberra, it's definitely a different kettle of fish.
Queensland go out there and win it. Maybe you can throw that out there. Queensland go out there, they go 2-0 up, and these players come in with a bit of confidence and think, well, shit, we've played half these lads just there 3 days ago and we beat them. There's no reason why we can't go out there and do it now, but
there's also a high chance Queensland win the game. Those 5 lads are coming in a little bit dusty.
Yeah, and the other 5 are coming in fired up and go, shit, we need to come out here and get a win here.
Yeah, get the media off our back. So a lot of storylines. They all seem to point towards Penrith picking up a big win, barring that Queensland confidence off the back of their win storyline. But yeah, I can't see anything but a Penrith win in this one, really, as impressive as the Cowboys were the week before. I guess you never really know, but yeah, I'm going to have to go Penrith.
I'm going to have to lock in the Panthers there as well. And that leaves you with the game of the round. The Roosters up against the Tigers, finishing off late here for us Sunday evening. Both teams coming away with a win, but 2 very different games and 2 very different performances, I think, from the 2 teams there. The Roosters obviously back in the thick of it, battling it out there, like you said before, and looking for a top 4 spot come the end of the season, and Tigers sort of playing with nothing to lose, just trying to get away from the bottom of the table there. And I guess you saw it a little bit with that sort of attacking flair, going out and trying whatever was going to come off, and it seemed to work for the Tigers.
Yeah, shout out to the Tigers breaking not only the curse of Campbelltown, but the curse of the Canberra Raiders.
It wasn't anywhere near as excessive as I thought. It was only 8 games, yeah, so I don't know what I'd seen. But yeah, 2 curses, the Campbelltown curse and the Canberra curse, so
fingers crossed you can make it 3 on the bounce. I don't know if there's any curse associated.
3 on the bounce, but 600th game, so 600th game in the NRL, it's a big occasion. Up against this Roosters team who've just been getting sort of, they've died down a little bit in terms of what they're scoring, but they seem to, I think, be playing better and better each week.
Yeah, it's tough. It's tough to really analyse it unless you're watching the full game. I think on the Roosters, I thought they looked pretty impressive in the highlights package, but certainly from what I've read, they're certainly gearing up towards a strong end of season. Lots of players leaving at the end of the year, so sort of a last chance for them to do anything in a Roosters jersey. I think the only one we will potentially see back at some stage might be Joey Manu, depending how the trip over to rugby union goes. So yeah, it's tough to see the Tigers picking up a 3rd consecutive win, coming up against the Roosters, who off the back of their win props them into the top 4, but you never know what a bit of complacency from the Roosters might do. The Tigers coming in with a bit of confidence as well, so yeah, as you said, throwing the ball around, a little bit of carefree footy.
Just some young blokes out there having a bit of fun, it looks like, so...
Yeah, and the forward pack, while it is very, very young, lots of power through the middle, and Appy back, it's no coincidence that you all of a sudden have a lot more threat in attack.
A lot more go forward.
Especially when he comes out of the number 9 dummy half spot. And you've got Lockie Galvin with those big striding legs.
All we need to do is keep 13 on the pitch. We go out there and get a sin bin, we're fucked. I'd love to see how many points we've scored this year while we've been down to 12 men. It's got to be more than every other team.
Conceded
yeah. We'd be losing by a country mile in terms of that. So I think if we can keep 13 on the pitch, we can definitely give the Roosters a good crack in this one. Obviously, Para with a winnable game, and the Titans with a bye. We don't want to go out there and lose all this hard work just like that. So We need to go out there and get a win. I'm backing the Tigers to go out there and get a win. 3 on the trot, 600th game, and hopefully, I was going to say jump up to 15th. We can't do that, but staying 16th, it would be ideal.
Yeah, can't say I'm against that. Although I'm going to have to pick the Roosters in this one. Top 4 side at home, plenty of time for those Origin stars to rest up. So, yeah, I'm going to have to go Roosters, unfortunately, but wouldn't mind seeing the Tigers continue the streak, that's for sure. It leaves Souths, Manly and Gold Coast with the byes this week. Souths playing Manly, and Souths picking up that 14-0 win.
Yeah,
coming up with a
little clean sheet.
Big old duck egg, yeah. Not often you do see that, but shout out to South Sydney for that one. Manly looking particularly horrendous in attack without the likes of DCE and Olakau'atu as their main focus points.
They miss
Jakey Turbo missing.
They definitely miss Olakau'atu. I think that's a huge loss for them. But they were dismal in attack, and I only watched, I want to say, the first 50 or so minutes, and then the stream went out on us.
Good time for Manly to have a bye as well off the back of.
Very good time for Manly to have a bye.
A load of injuries.
So they'll be happy the way this has come in. And for Souths, I mean, they started this little bit of run of form with 2 points from bye, and now they've got it again. So I think they'll be pretty happy to continue to chug along and keep moving up that table, hopefully for them. And yeah, the Titans, a well-deserved rest. Doesn't really come at a very good time for us, but it comes at a pretty good time for them, I think, just to keep the pressure on those two teams there, us and the Eels. And yeah, definitely, well-deserved break after that big one.
Yeah, they certainly scored enough points to win 2 games of footy, possibly even 3, with that big 66-point total. So shout out to the Gold Coast. Don't know if it means... No, because I suppose Parramatta could do a points difference swing. I was going to say, don't know if that means they're guaranteed to not finish at the bottom, but we could see the same thing unfortunately happen should Parramatta and Tigers pick up wins. Parramatta's might have to be quite a big win.
We could see the Titans drop down into 17th. You are right.
Interesting to see if that happens 2 weeks in a row.
That would be
something.
That's got to be a first, I think.
That wouldn't, yeah.
I don't
think
that would
only.
I don't think that would have happened very often before.
I don't know if it will happen ever again. If it doesn't happen this week, it probably won't ever happen. If it happens again this week, it's probably something you have to
going to happen next week.
Keep looking out for it. Yeah, you don't want the bye.
You don't. Yeah, if you're down the bottom, if you're 15th, you don't want the bye ideally. There's also obviously been plenty of round ball action over the last few weeks. The Euros into full swing by now. We've seen Group A and Group B, or is it
Group A and Group B? Yes, sorry, that should be Spain and Italy from Group B.
Group A and Group B completed now. Germany and Switzerland going through. My poor Hungary being kicked out.
So far the best third place team.
Only two pools down, but all you need is one more team to finish worse off and you go through. So the top 4 of 6 pools. Croatia
finishing with 2 points.
Yeah, most likely won't see them go through. Actually, I believe already knocked out. I think because I think you've already got
Group E, all 4 of them on 3 points.
So
they're pretty much guaranteed to finish above Croatia. And I think Group C, everyone has a point at least.
Yeah. So
Denmark 2, Serbia 1, and England 4. So. And obviously, is it Slovakia or Slovenia? pulling off that draw up against, or are they sitting on 2 points as well?
Which?
The Slovenians. They
I
must
can-
be with
Two
the
draws.
draw up against Denmark as well.
So yeah, there's still plenty to play for. We are starting to see a little bit how that tournament sort of knockout bracket is going to look. I guess the biggest shock so far, I don't know if it's a shock really, is I guess Croatia sort of being knocked out there. They're very, very unlucky, Italy scoring in the 98th minute.
Yeah.
We've seen a few last minute goals over the last few days. Obviously Hungary there as well, scoring in the 100th minute to break Scottish hearts. Not that it was going to do anything for Scotland either way. What are we into? Group C tonight?
Group C
tomorrow
overnight,
morning, 7 a.m. kickoff. What are we? England up against
England
Serbia.
up against the Slovenians.
Slovenia and Serbia up against Denmark.
Yeah, so I mean, it's looking like unless there is some sort of, if Slovenia can pull off a win and Denmark also, England will be shunted into third spot, but with 4 points, that'd see them through to the round of 16 stage regardless, I'd say. So looking like England are safe, so it's sort of between Denmark and Slovenia who can pull off the better result there, and the Serbs obviously still in with a shout should they pick up a win. So all to play for really, coming out of that Group C. Group D as well, I believe, is sort of in the balance going into the final match day. Netherlands and France in pole position, but I think if Austria can pull off a shock result, do they play the French or the Dutch?
I think I'm not too sure who they play, but if they can pull off a result, then
They'll go into second or
sneak
third,
their way in there.
group.
Obviously, Poland already knocked out there in that pool.
Poland not looking like they have done in previous tournaments with the likes of Lewandowski and others, but the group of the 20 so far, all 4 teams having picked up a win. So you don't really know what to expect really. Romania, Belgium, Slovakia and Ukraine. Now Belgium would probably have to be your favourites to
go through up against Romania.
A second win there.
Or do they play Ukraine? They might play Ukraine, I think.
They already beat Romania.
Yeah, I think so. Ukraine, Belgium, Slovakia, Romania.
Yeah, so
we actually have 4 games to overnight. We've got 2 at 4 and 2 at 7.
you really couldn't pick that one, could you? I think you probably have to say Belgium would be the more likely over Ukraine. But Romania and Slovakia, it's hard to pick. I think Romania looked very impressive in that first game. But obviously falling short up against Belgium, so whether or not they can find that momentum again up against the Slovakians, who managed to pull off a shock win against the Belgians in that first
they managed to
first match day there. I was trying to remember who they beat, but yeah, it was Belgium. It was that dodgy handball.
a little bit of drama involved in that one.
So yeah, hell of a group. Shout out to all 4 teams. It'd be nice to see any 4 of those do well.
I'd like to see Slovakia and Romania go through. I think that'd be quite cool. Romania, not often in a big tournament like this, and Slovakia being
100%.
Belgium.
Definitely the 2 smallest names out of the group, and then Ukraine would just be nice with what's going on in the last few
you're right.
years.
Actually, I didn't really think of it like that.
A little bit of a footballing minnow in terms of some of the other names at the tournament as well. So yeah, I guess the last group is Group F. Portugal looking like they're going to be cruising through. I believe they play Georgia, and then Turkey and the Czechs face off.
Yes. What was that?
But Turkey, having picked up a win.
Turkey played Czech and Georgia played Portugal. So
And is it like 6 points, 3 points, 3 points, 0 points, or is there
No, Turkey have got a win. Turkey are on 3, and then Czech Republic and Georgia are on 1. So Georgia can beat Portugal, and then
Czech Republic can beat Turkey. You might see a little bit of a change up. But
yeah, only if Georgia can get a good goal swing there. But it's looking like
Portugal and Turkey go through. Yeah, interesting to see which one of these third place teams miss out. Which one of them finishes on maybe just
looking like
the 2 points?
One of Czech and Georgia, and then one of Czech and Georgia and possibly Croatia.
Croatia with 2, yeah. I think Serbia will probably finish last of the group. Slovenia 2 points as well, so should England pick up a result, that probably leaves the Slovenians struggling to reach the round of 16.
Yep, Slovenia or Denmark.
Austria, are they already on 3 points?
Austria have already got 3.
So yeah, you'd probably have to say
it's one
between the Czechs, Georgians, and the Slovenians, really.
I think it'll be Czech
unless
Republic.
Serbia can pick up a win, but that even probably puts them into second in the group.
It's Czech or Croatia. Czech and Croatia, sorry. They'll be the 2 teams I think that they get hard done by in that one, but we'll be up to some knockout footy by the time we get to you next week. The old cricket still trucking along. We saw an amazing upset today. Unfortunately, rain affected a little bit of DLS getting out there, but Afghanistan taking the dub against the Aussies. So I believe has the Aussies knocked out. I think it is. I want to say that is Afghanistan through into the semi-finals. Where are we today? Oh, Afghanistan beat Bangladesh.
Yeah, Afghanistan beat Bangladesh. You said to knock Australia out. What's the Super 8 standings?
Yeah, why did I think that was the case? Well, yeah. Australia lost. Australia only won 1 game.
Australia only won 1 game in the Super 8.
Yeah.
And so who's the top 4?
Well, it's 2 groups.
Right.
So it's India, Afghanistan, and South Africa and England.
Okay.
So
shout out to Afghanistan,
who obviously must have beat Australia already, and I just missed it. Afghanistan on Sunday won by 21 runs. I just read everything wrong then when I obviously read it. So that gives us Thursday our time. We've got South Africa versus Afghanistan, and then India, England in the other semi. Cool.
Come on,
Afghanistan. 100%.
And hopefully they don't have to face India in the final, because I think India will probably pump them. But anyway, yeah. You mentioned last week the golden generation was sort of falling apart, retiring. Kano, the next day, turns down the NZC central contract. The golden man of the golden generation. Still said that he's going to turn out for the Black Caps as much as he can, but don't know how that looks. If it's similar to Bolty, with him just coming back come tournament time, maybe home summers around the Big Bash, that sort of thing.
Yeah, who knows what's going to happen
the IPL,
for Kano there, but
yeah,
off to make a bit of money, I'm guessing.
Yeah, off to cash in. I'm sure he'll be able to. He's the biggest name probably in New Zealand cricket history. Probably has to go down, even if he was to hang up the boots today, as our greatest ever batsman, maybe even a shout as usurping Richard Hadley as our best ever cricketer. But yeah, huge news for the Black Caps. Certainly marks the end of an era, as you were saying last week. But yeah, shout out to Kane. Hopefully he can still turn out for the Black Caps as often as we'd like, but might not be the case.
Fingers crossed we will still get to see him. Two blokes who will be out there representing their country, our country, this weekend. Hopai Puha and Ben Robb. As I said earlier on, I'm very, very excited for the start of the World Cup of Darts. It starts Friday morning our time. I wanted to check on Ned's exactly when the first match starts, but I believe if I'm thinking right in my head, the first match will be about 7:15, and I will just check. Originally I thought we were third, but that may have actually just been like the order of it being drawn. Host Germany, the headline said. There you go. That's not a good thing you want to be saying.
Yeah, but you got New Zealand's Hopai Puha and Ben Robb in the first sentence there.
5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10th game of the evening. So we're not looking at, I mean, maybe a sleeper is on the cards. Sweden versus Spain. I mean, shout out Fred, but I don't know if I need to watch that one. Czech Republic, Bahrain, France, Latvia. I mean, I wouldn't mind getting up to see that one there because I like Matters Razma. I could probably close my eyes for Croatia, Malaysia. Republic of Ireland, Lithuania will be a good match. Poland, Norway, from then on you can watch the rest of it. But you're looking at maybe 10:30 at 11 o'clock there, Friday morning. I can't bloody wait. They did have a little bit of a warm-up there over the weekend. I did say that it was the European Darts Open and that Hopai was there. But unfortunately he wasn't. I got that a little bit wrong. That was the European Darts Open, but not the huge 120 or so player field that I was expecting. We ended up seeing Chizzy up against Ross Smith in the final. Neither of those players involved in the World Cup, actually, now I think about it. But Chizzy taking the win there in the final. How many of these players there are actually involved in the World Cup? Heta, Michael Smith is there with Humphreys instead of Littler. I don't think Van Veen will be there with Netherlands. Schindler will be there with Germany.
Josh Rock, Northern Ireland.
Yep, Josh Rock there, Northern Ireland. MVG, Peter Wright will there. That's going into your last 16. Dirk will be there. Kevin Deutz.
Martin Schindler.
Yeah, Schindler will be there. So not too many really getting into the latter stages. Only really Heta coming in with a bit of form from the weekend. And I think that's one of those sports I wouldn't mind seeing across the ocean. Neighbours there doing well. We've obviously seen Aussie win a World Cup before, but the main goal is go out there and beat Germany. If we can go out there and beat Germany, then there's no, as long as we don't choke against Finland, we can make it through to that next round. And you never know what's going to happen when you're up at the Oki. So if we can pull off a little bit of a shock, it would be awesome to see. It is, I'm going to go, about 10 o'clock, maybe not that late, maybe make sure you're up by 9 at least, in case a few of those games whiz by. Let's say awake by 9, maybe looking at 10, 11, around somewhere around then, first dart will be thrown in that one. That probably wraps us up for another week. As always, if you've made it this far, thank you for listening, thank you for tuning in. Remember to get involved in all your socials, give us a like, a 5-star, but give us a subscription. Enjoy your week ahead, enjoy whatever sports you may be getting involved with. If you're having a punt on the NRL, definitely don't do it on Bet365. Use the TAB or move to Aussie. And definitely do it responsibly. And if you do all that, hopefully we'll see you here next week.
Yeah, sounds like a good plan. Go the Blues.
Marshall skips away. Marshall's still going. Marshall's got Richards coming up outside. Now inside.
Arsenal have gone through an entire league campaign without losing.
Bennett and the Dragons win the grand final.
Whips that one away, and Kane Williamson and his team now world test champions.